Hello, my friends. This is the inside of some of the old vehicles. Probably most of you people that's looking at it wasn't born back then when a vehicle on the inside looked like this, especially some of the work trucks. Now that speed on, but I think it's got like 100 miles an hour on there. But that's, if you ever got one running in that fast, you'd think you was on an airplane flying, because you never drive these trucks back then, probably about 45, 55 mile an hour. That was about pretty good speed, you know, depending on the roads and all that stuff back then. But anyway, I just want to show you just a little bit of the inside, the way some of the old trucks, back probably, we're going to say back about 1945, on back up to probably about 1970, would cover some of this right here, if it didn't cover most of it. But anyway, it was made strong. You could look at it and tell it was a work truck. So you had that gear shift down there, right here. I'll point it out. The gear shift, that you could double clutch that thing, and I mean shift gears like it was an automatic. A lot of them back then didn't have an automatic transmission. They all straight stick that you shifted, and the stick was in the floor. So that was a big improvement when they put it up here on the steering wheel, where it wouldn't be in the way. And a lot of people could ride up front with you, you know, if you didn't have that straight stick right in the middle of the floor, because that aggravated the person who was sitting in the middle of the seat. You know what I mean? So that was a big improvement when they decided to put it up on the steering wheel and get it out of the way. Any passenger that you might pick along up the way when you're going down the road, see somebody hitchhiking, there might be two of them, and they'll squeeze in there, try to sit in there and ride with you, and that you shifting them gears would aggravate them a little bit. But anyway, you can see all these things up here. A lot of them ain't even got no labels on them. You just know back then, because you sit around in a vehicle and just look at it whether you drove it or not, because it was so interesting back then. Nobody didn't have anything much. If it was anything that moved, you know, that carried you down the road, you didn't have to walk, you were just really all excited about that vehicle. I mean, to tell you, all these here it looked like it might have been a cigarette lighter or something there, or this here might have been a cigarette lighter. That was just a light, either some kind of vent that you would open up and let the air blow in, because they didn't have no air conditioning back then in them. And of course you had all kinds. This is an ashtray right here. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. Most people smoked back then. Some of them done a little chewing. They put them a cup over here on the side where they kind of spit in it. When they were going down the road, they didn't want to spit out the window because it'd blow down inside the vehicle, and everybody said, "Look at him, look, he must chew a lot of old tobacco or something." So you don't want people talking about you like that, because you want to fit in with the crowd and want everybody to laugh at you. So you'd have your little spit cup over on the side. But then you could put your valuables in there. You didn't have many. You definitely didn't put no money in there, because you didn't have maybe 50 cents or $1 maybe to buy a gallon of gas or something. But you could put a lot of stuff in there. You know, like a pair of scissors or something. You want to trim your mustache or something. What? Some of the stuff you really didn't cost you, and then thinking somebody stole the whole bag. But that's just the way it was. But anyway, in that place there, you usually put your little butcher knife in there. You could cut stuff, not no body, but I mean, a lot of times you go out there and you get a mess of turnip or something, you cut the roots off, you got a knife out there, you go there and get it out of your truck. You say, "Where's my knife?" It's to go down my truck, get one, and we'll cut these here roots off these turnips and these carrots. Take them back, and we'll have to all that excess. It's easy to wash and clean up, you know. But you can tell this is a nice, strong truck. It was made for a man to do heavy work. I mean, you know, back then they said that by the sweat of your brow, you will eat. So back then, people, they just loved to work, and they like to describe a visual they had. they put the bull horns up there. You can see that bull horn. So like they got a little hair from somewhere, maybe off the bull's head, and glued it on there to make it look fantastic. But that's all I'm gonna tell you about it. And they had big, strong motors in these things back then, but they weren't made for a lot of speed. They was made for pulling heavy loads and driving normal. They didn't have a lot of interstate roads and stuff where you got to do nearly 100 miles an hour now. You don't somebody run over you. Back then, we had 1 lane, 2 lane roads, really. And when we went across the creek or the river or something, most of the time it was just a 1 lane bridge. And so you had to pull up to the edge of the bridge and wasn't nobody coming, then you go on across. But if there was somebody coming, you had to pull over the side and wait they got across, and then you go across the bridge. But that was the improvement after about 1945, 46, they started making 2-lane bridges across streams of water, rivers and creeks and stuff like that. So that was a big improvement. I've seen a lot of changes in the last few years. You can tell I've been messing around this country a pretty good while now. And I still enjoy, I just enjoy it every day. So, and I appreciate y'all checking in and looking at my video. And we'll talk to you later about more stuff. See ya.